So, welcome to another episode of A State of Success, the podcast about real estate, business, and sales. Today, I have the privilege and the honor to be joined by Nile Lundgren and Samir Vogan, both agents at Serhant, that I would say top luxury residential brokerage in New York City, right? And also part of the cast of Owning Manhattan, the latest and I would say greatest also real estate show on Netflix. So thanks, Niall.
Thank you so much for having me, Juan.
Thank you, Samir.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
I want to touch on the podcast has been about real estate, obviously, and obviously luxury, the luxury market in real estate throughout the region. So you guys have the privilege, I suppose, to work on the most luxurious market in the world in New York City, selling bananas properties at ridiculous prices that have, for me, sometimes no economic sense, right? They just have $250 million penthouses that people buy because I guess they can, right? There's no other reason, I guess. So I want to touch upon that. But previously, I want people to get to know you a little better. And you weren't born in New York City. You do not come actually from luxury as a real estate agent in your beginnings. How has the journey been from zero to Netflix star?
Yeah, that took a while. Mm-hmm. You know, I've been in the business, 2024? I started in 2008. So that's about 16 years I've been in the business. And it took a lot of hustle. I started my career just renting apartments in Brooklyn, Bushwick, and Bed-Stuy. My first deal ever, I sold it wasn't a sale actually. My first deal ever, I rented a $600 a month studio apartment. It was a basement apartment with no windows, no anything. And I made like $200 and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. But I came up in the business by doing rentals, by managing rental portfolios, and then slowly getting into the sales game. What that allowed me to do was build up a Rolodex of clients so that I was able to then sell to them later. And I've built up a really good Rolodex because not only do I sell or rent to these people, but I ask those people for referrals, and they've given me referrals, which has allowed me to build my business over the years. And, you know, I would really say that we really Samir and I penetrated the luxury market right as we were coming to Serhant. We sold an $18 million property down in Miami. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as we got to Serhant, everything changed. You know, the Serhant effect was in full swing, and we started to really sell.
What's the so-called Serhant effect?
Yeah, so the Serhant effect is something we like to say in Serhant is that your business becomes explosive. You are a good agent, and then you come to Serhant, and all the tools and opportunities in front of you, you are poised for exponential growth. And we saw that the moment we came in the door, and we've been building the team and growing to handle all the influx of business that we have, and it's just been an extreme blessing.
So from what I get from what you're saying is basically your network is your net worth.
Exactly.
And how would you, or what advice would you say to someone that's trying to penetrate the luxury market as to how to relate with this kind of clients?
Well, it's a good question. I think you have to be, number one, you have to understand what it's like to be somebody who has a lot of money, high net worth individual. So that's number one. So you have a friend who has a good amount of money, spend time around them. Understand the toys and the things that they like to do. Is it cars? Is it boats? Is it jets? You know, and really see crypto, whatever it may be. Get into that world a little bit. Learn about it. Learn about polo. Mm-hmm. We spoke about that earlier. Yeah. You know, you have to be a student of where you're going. Mm-hmm. And if you learn where you're going and you understand it and you study it, then when it's presented in front of you, it feels natural. It's not an unnatural situation where you're just showing a luxury property. It's your first time ever being in the room or doing it. So a great way to do that if you're an agent is find your friends who, you know, have a good amount of money, start hanging out with them, and then preview a lot of these luxury towers, because if you're going to sell luxury, you need to know luxury. So it's very important that you get off your butt and you move around and you see these properties.
Okay, thanks. Now, Samir, I understand that you guys have been working for quite a long time together, right?
Yeah, I think we're going on year 7.
You're also not from New York City.
No.
You come from Kansas City, a different market.
Yeah.
How was your upbringing in the luxury market in New York City?
Well, yeah, I started off selling real estate out of school back in Kansas City, and I wanted something more, and this is the city, the land, the state of more. And if I was going to do this, I wanted to do it at a high level with people that understood and got it.
Yeah.
And so obviously I, found Nile, right?
Instagram.
On Instagram.
The power of social media.
The power of social media. And I understood that he got it. And that wasn't there yet, but even from the first meeting and everything, just basically like, okay, has a vision, has a plan. Now, how can I help pour gasoline and fire on that plan, and let's light it up and do it together and build this thing up. So the luxury market, for me specifically, what I realize is what could be my worth to a high net worth client or something, right? Those people didn't just, some did, through family or whatever, but a lot of them, they understand the details of business. They understand the details of numbers and money, and because that's how they keep
the money
and
make more money.
So that's something that I understood that I could learn quickly and use that. No, I didn't maybe have the network, but I understood money, and I could read about markets, and I could go tour these properties, and I could go see how and why people are making the decisions they're making based off, the price or specific area or what's going on with the development. So it helped me validate myself in this space and understand why. I wanted to know the why of why people are purchasing these trophy assets, or what areas they're buying in and for what.
And do you like to take care of buyers or sellers, or what's your expertise?
Well, I think in real estate in general, if you want to stay in this business, you need to have inventory. So going after the sellers, that's something we get a listing. That is something I have to sell.
Okay.
It's already in the bag. Now I have to go find the buyer. Rather than, you're working with a buyer and, they could drag you around for 3 to 6 months and never end up purchasing anything. That's a possibility. But I understand. We sign a listing agreement. I got 180 days to sell something, and
let's
that's
get to
what
work.
it is. So I personally, we focus a lot of our business on, bringing in listings, and that also allows
you guys just
to
come from a pitch meeting, right?
Yes, we just pitched 45 units. On Monday, we're pitching 180 units.
Okay.
So, we've really made a big focus, and Samir has done a great job as our head of new development within the team of running the projects that we have currently. We're sitting in one of them, which is 15 West 96th Street. It's 21 boutique condominiums on Central Park West and 96th Street. It's an excellent project. Sackman Enterprises is the developer, and we're super excited to be representing them. We're almost sold out at the Huxley, which is a project that Samir has been leading. That was a 71-unit project. We're down to our last 4 apartments to sell. And we're very, very excited to push that building through the finish line. And as we finish those and we build up a reputation for selling some difficult projects, what that does is it opens the door for more projects.
Okay.
And we've really shifted from selling one apartment in a condo from Betty to selling the whole condo, which is a whole different skill set. But I think with Samir's focus on the finance, the numbers, the spreadsheets, the process, we have a tremendous operational system that has really allowed us to manage multiple projects at once, have all the information in one place, stay organized, and then execute sales. And as we do that, people hear about it and they want some of the juice,
What's the importance of processes in selling new development?
And I think process in general is extremely important in this business. The beauty of real estate is you can do it so many different ways, really. But understanding what you want to sell, like how you personally
I just
work.
want to mention something upon something you just said. the beauty of real estate is you can do it so many ways. And that's what I like actually about our job. For me, it's not actually, I mean, when I was a little kid, I didn't say, I want to be a real estate agent. That's not my dream job.
Of course, nobody did.
But
Maybe
the
now.
job I do now allows me to be creative. And that I do love. Every day I can be creative in a different way and meet new people who motivate me to work my mind onto how to sell a different asset, right? So, sorry,
No, 100%. You're right about that. For me personally, like I said, like Nile said, I like the numbers and the aspect of that because I can break everyone down at the end of the day. It does come down to probably price point or you know what they're specifically looking to spend, this, that, or the other. So, but for me, the process is huge, just like Nile said, especially selling out a whole entire building, right? So we're going to have within a given project, we're going to have 1,000 people through the door, 1,500 people through the door. How are you logging that, right? I understand. We know through experience that somebody might stop by, but they're at the beginning stage of their search. How do we follow up with that person for the next 2 to 3 months? Because then we know they're going to come back and they're going to buy. Right? Then, how do you capture those people? How do you stay in touch with those people? How do you log it? And by the way, with working with developers, at the end of the day, they're looking at their balance sheet, and they have loans, they have hard money, they need to pay out other investors and other people on the project. So to them, it's all a numbers game. They're looking at a spreadsheet. So
and then probably here in New York City, people don't have this stigma or this misconception that us real estate agents, we make a lot of money and really do not much. Like we just sell houses, and it sounds simple, but it's much more than just selling houses, right? If we were to get paid by the hour, every time we show, no one would hire us or no one would go see houses because it's so much work to be done. But we do 1,000 showings or 2,000 showings to sell 100 apartments, and we only get paid if we do the closing, right? So that's the other thing. How to stay motivated in this competitive market when we were off camera and you said the market is complicated. I mean, the best agents prevail. How to do so?
Well, I think you do that with creativity. You do that with education. You do that with knowledge, product knowledge, market knowledge. It's not just understanding Bitcoin. It's understanding global markets, especially in New York City, because it's the global city. This is where all the capital from around the world comes. So if you understand global markets, if you understand cryptocurrencies, if you understand, the ETFs and inflows, that helps you have a more educated conversation with potential buyers or sellers and helps you execute more transactions. Then it comes down to how do I get creative around that? Are we hosting events? Are we hosting digital events? Are we creating property tour videos that are not just the standard property tours of us standing right here in front of this white wall? No, we'll start the property tour in Central Park. We'll have the next scene shot from this terrace right here with a view overlooking Billionaires Row from a drone, right? Like that creativity is something that I spend a lot of time on when I'm making a property tour video or an asset for a building or a property, because that level of detail, if you look at A broker and then us as B broker, or we're the A broker actually, and then the B broker, right? It's quite apparent that the extra time that we take to make sure that everything is excellent, is really, really visible to the market, and we capitalize on that.
And then talking about creativity, your star of Netflix Owning Manhattan, season 1 was a big hit. For me as an spectator, better than the other real estate shows on the platform. And knowing you personally, people from Guatemala, where I come from, don't know you as a human being, but they connect with you. You have this energy, and people told me Nile is my favorite one because he's so genuine and authentic. So how does authenticity, what role does authenticity play in selling real estate?
Great question, because when you are in real estate, you have to be honest at all times. The second you start fudging the truth or saying, then you have to remember things. And we're doing a lot of deals and a lot of volume, so I don't like to remember things. So number one, in order to be successful, you have to be a straight shooter. Now, when you translate that to owning Manhattan, I could certainly put on a front of, oh, I'm this guy and oh, I'm this guy. And maybe some people on the show did. And maybe some of the other shows, some people are maybe not as genuine as they can be. But my experience of being on other reality TV shows is that if you're not genuine, the camera will pick up on it. So it's not, and then the 200 million viewers that are looking at it, they're going to spot that a mile away. So my stance is to always be true to who I am. Yeah, I'm a little crazy, but I am genuine, and I really deep down do care about people. Do I, try and close as many deals as possible? And if you're in my way, yeah, you might get, a little burnt, right? But other than that, I'm trying to win the deal. I'm not trying to steamroll anybody or do anything. I want the deal to happen because I'm a deal guy. I'm a deal junkie, and I like that. And I've always said, if you are authentic and true to yourself, and especially if you put a camera in front of you, it will show.
You're the team lead of the Lundgren team, a top producing team at the firm, right? But you're also the star of the show. So how have you handled fame and business, and how has your team supported you in, let's say, you handing over some business to them so you can go and do the other thing?
Well, number one, I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't have a team, if I didn't have Samir on board with me, if I didn't have Genesis with me. So the team allows me to structure my time so that I can focus on being in front of the camera, which allows me to get top of funnel, which means I'm in front of the camera, I get on Netflix, then there's 270 million people that see me, and then leads come in. Now, I can't deal with every possible lead. I mean, I've gotten at least 5 leads in the last 2 days. So now I have a very large team, and the team is very dialed in. They understand the systems. They understand what excellence is, and that's what we strive for. And so what I do is, now that I have confidence in them, I'll say, hey, Samir, you've been at this project for too long. I need you to come down here and do this. I know you might not like it, but I'm going to give you this lead. We're going to work on it together, and you're going to close this out. And then you get another data point of experience. So we've done that with a lot of different agents, and the agents that have been on the team maybe have had rental backgrounds or lower price points. But by being at the team and seeing how we do business, and when I get top of funnel leads, then I dish them out, and then I help manage to close, then they get to build their business. Then the client gets to work with the Lundgren team at Serhant, and then everybody wins. So the team is really my key to success. I'm certainly, a real estate powerhouse. I love real estate, but I wouldn't be anywhere without my team.
Okay, thank you. Samir, I want to talk a little bit, because we're kind of over time, but a little bit about the scenario of the market after Trump has been confirmed next president-elect of the USA.
Yeah.
What's the Trump effect on the real estate market?
Well, I think everyone's just excited. Everyone likes change. It could be good or bad, but change is kind of what, he was president, then he wasn't, and then they brought him back because wanting something different. You could deal with a couple of different market aspects as far as inflation, or it's just people understand this Trump baseline. At the end of the day, right or wrong or indifferent, he's there to make a deal, right? He wants America to win. So he says. So people are buying into that right now and hoping that things can improve. There's a lot of different market aspects in the country that people want to see change. This is New York City. And at the end of the day, it's expensive to live here. People have to make a lot of money to live in the city. And so it kind of just brings a little bit of change and hope, in the sense that at the end of the day, he's going to try to make a couple different things change so that our country as a whole wins on a couple of different levels and improve things. So people are buying into that.
I don't know if you guys realize, but Central America is kind of the backyard of the U.S. Let's say if the U.S. was a house, we would be the backyard. And since Trump won the elections again, I had I had many clients on the fence about making a decision of investment. But since he won, we had 2 big deals confirmed because I think it's the ambience, it's the atmosphere of let's do business. Now that we have certainty. Also change, but certain change, let's say. That's your point of view, you would say?
Yeah, my point of view is when you're looking at the presidential election, regardless of whoever gets elected, the markets don't like uncertainty. So the months leading up to it, the markets don't really like that. But once you have a confirmed person, whether it's Kamala or it's Trump, right? Then the markets react to that. Then the interest rates, what happened the next day? Interest rates went down. Crypto went crazy. Stock market went bananas. People are feeling richer. Right? Just like the Serhant effect, there's a bit of a Trump effect happening. And we have to be here right now on site in the city to capitalize on that. Are people making decisions tomorrow and confirming deals that have been holding off on? I don't think I'm seeing anybody that's doing anything out of line yet. I think those decisions are happening because people want to see how far that stock market run will go. Do they take the money out now and then see it go up and put it into a hard asset? Or do they wait another 2, 3, 6 months, let it run up a little bit, Trump gets inaugurated, then pull out, put in a hard asset? It's still to be seen.
The thing is, you have to be here. There's this phrase, opportunity loves preparation, right? So I think that's a great quick chat and a wrap up about the luxury real estate market in New York City. Thanks, you guys, because I know I just pop up here.
We love it.
And I'm intense when I wanted to see you guys, but I do it because I appreciate you and I learn lots from you every time we just sit and talk. I think this was very, very interesting. So thank you for receiving me and being with me on the podcast.
Likewise. Brother.
Thank you so much, brother. Very excited about those 2 deals for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
By the way, Juan's been killing it. This guy is a total animal, and we're super happy to have him up here at 15 West 96th Street. Thank you.
Thank you.